One of my pastimes I like to tell people is I watch soccer and all that, but I love to rag on Manchester United when they're not doing so well. Dylan, all right, give it to me straight. How's the season been going? What are your thoughts about Amorim, Ratcliffe, and the rest? I'll open the floor up and let you have at it, buddy.
Jekyll and Hyde, huh? Like a team that just decides that one game they'll play all right, then the next game they will be the worst team on planet Earth, and there's no in between. And that's awesome. Super enjoyable as a fan to walk into every match and think, well, this is going to be fun. I know my friends are thinking that. All of my friends that love to rag on me. And honestly, it's fair. You know, United had their glory run for as long as they did. And equally, you now get to rag on United for being as crappy as they are. Because that makes sense. That is how human nature works.
Dylan, I got to be honest. I'm very disappointed. I was hoping you'd come in like they are the best club ever. We're just down. We're right back at it. And you're a realist, my friend.
I am a realist, unfortunately. I think it's enough pain and suffering. Like, look, I'm 26, so the glory days, and as an American fan, you understand it. Watching games was not easy when we were awesome. So I've watched a lot of really awful football for most of my adulthood here, and so it's more pain. I think, and it's just a suffering thing. And at this point, my manager just wants me to suffer, so I might as well just enjoy it. Right.
All right. So tell me about the manager, Ruben Amorim. Where are your thoughts right now? Because it's come out this week that Jim Ratcliffe has said he wants him to see the full entirety of the 3-year contract through. He doesn't want to pass judgment on Ruben Amorim until the 3-year contract is up. We are a year into that, so that means he's got 2 years left. Where are you at right now? Because I'm going to read off some stats real quick. He's been in charge for 50 games. He's won 19. That's a 38% win rate. In the league, there's 33 games, 9 wins, 17 losses, 7 draws. That's a 27% win rate, 34 points. Goals scored, 38. Goals conceded, 53. Where are you at right now? If you are taking over the club tomorrow, are you wielding that axe, or are you saying, I want to see you through for the next 2 years here, buddy?
Oh, well, good baseball stats, right? Batting 300. I don't know. It's tough. I actually like Ruben Amorim as a person and as a manager in terms of like just the realism. Like, I think that he's very much in that Ralph Ragnick style of like, I'm going to tell you how it is. You might not like it, but I'm going to tell you. And I respect that level of honesty. Numbers they just don't lie at a certain point. And I've lost faith in the idea that he can right the ship. And so personally for me, and the way that I've looked at United is I try not to get too high or too low at any given point. And so for me, I don't really care if he's there or not. And that's a worse position to be in than if I actually cared. So like, yeah, he could stay for the rest of the season as so long as we don't get relegated. It would mean no different to me than if we sacked him now and we just start the carousel over again.
Sure.
So I don't really know. It's such a devastating feeling when I sit here and I go, I just shrug my shoulders and I give up a little bit. It's deflating for sure.
That is probably the best explanation I've heard when I put that question to United fans. All right, I got one more question about it, about United and your club. Jim Ratcliffe, Sir Jim Ratcliffe,
right?
He was brought in. He bought in. I actually think my theory is he somehow finagled his way in, and the Saudi Arabian fella, whose long name I cannot remember, Sir.
Yeah, something
like that. I can't remember his name.
You're right.
I think Jim Ratcliffe somehow finagled his way into the Glazers and said, "You don't need this guy. You need me. I'm a Manchester United fan forever." And I think there was some ploys going on there. He did some background stuff, and the best move they could have done was get that Saudi Arabian guy and his money. Jim Ratcliffe, I'm sorry, I'm going to throw this on the screen right now, is an absolute loser. Now, is it just Manchester United? No, it's not. What a lot of people don't realize is he actually took over the Sky Sports cycling team in 2019. And prior to that, the Sky Sports cycling team, which competed in the Tour de France, the Tour de Italy, the Tour de Belgium, and all the tours across Europe, was phenomenal. They were winners. They had won multiple tours in the 2010s. He took over in 2019. The team has fallen apart. Look, there's cultural problems within the team. There's a high number of turnover of coaches and recruitment policy it's bad. It's baffling people within the sport what he is doing. He has the highest paid rider, a double Olympic gold medal winning mountain biker in 2020 and 2024, describing himself as frazzled over the future of this team. Since assuming control of the Sky team, recruitment has been arguably Ineos, the name of the team is Ineos Grenadiers, biggest weakness. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yeah. Losers is a good term for Mr. Ratcliffe, because that's ultimately what's followed him. Like, you can even go back to Nice, right? Nice haven't been successful since he took over.
Yep.
I don't know if he has an F1 team or is a part of an F1 team, but I think he might, and I don't think they're very good. Oh, it's so tough. For owners, I don't want them to be involved very much. If I had to say anything, I think when your owner gets involved, it's a bad look.
Yep.
I think he did it for commercial gain. I do. Being able to go and get Manchester United at the price that he got Manchester United is a steal. And the Glazers I think they've wanted out for a little bit now, and I think they're waiting for someone to blow the doors open to completely sell. The question is, can he either find the funds to do it, or are they going to have to go back into the market? But selling a team like Manchester United is a big thing, and you can't do it overnight. So this feels like the drop in the pond, climatizing yourself to this situation. I would have loved for the Prince to come in and save United, because he would have spent as much money as guys like City and Newcastle have and revamped the team.
Yeah, and he's tried to. No, don't get me wrong. He spent a lot of money, right, in the windows, but
Sure.
I think he picked the wrong people to lead the club, and that's not just a manager, it's the executives. I think they've gone out and picked the wrong players to spend money on. I mean, we can go down the list of Højlund, Zerke, just players, Onana, right? Players that weren't needed, players that were overvalued. I think that, honestly, you nailed it. He bought the club for commercial reasons. He's making money out of the club, by the way. He makes the Glazers look like good owners, in my opinion. And that's tough to do, because they've neglected the club and taken so much money out of that club in their ownership that it is incredible. Until this man leaves your club, I don't think any winning actually happens. I just don't see it turning around under his stewardship. And if your theory is right, that he's come in and he's waiting for to turn things around a little bit and convince the Glazers to sell to him, that could be probably the worst thing ever for the club. And it's getting so bad, sorry to go on a rant here, that I'm actually feeling really sorry and bad for my friends like yourself who are Manchester United fans, who are having to it sucks. I hate it for my friends. I love that Manchester United sucks, but I don't want them to be that bad that my friends are all really unhappy. So,
Fair. When your hate turns to pity, that's not a good sign of where the club's at for a lot of different reasons.
I'm on his Wikipedia page. I was just curious about his business career. So he's actually a chemical engineer, and he got his degree from the University of Birmingham. It says here, after graduating, Ratcliffe worked at the oil firm BP, but was fired after 3 days. So, man, you just get out of college and you're fired. And then he's been in the oil business and energy business and whatnot. But it just, I don't know, a guy like that, bringing him into sport to run stuff, there's just some people that don't understand how can be innovative and think outside the box because they're numbers and they only see things certain ways. I feel like that's him. And he just sees money. And when you work in oil, you tend to see money very, very much. So
he's a businessman who pretends to care about the fans and care about the club. And I really don't think he does. He cares about lining his own pocket. And there's a lot of things we can go back and say what he's done. Dylan, all right, let's kind of wrap this up a little bit. Manchester United, where do they finish out the season? And do you expect Sir Jim Ratcliffe to hold to the comments he made this week of, I'm going to see Ruben Amorim through in his contract? So where do they finish, and does Ruben Amorim keep his job through the contract?
Oh, that's tough. I want to say top 8, right? I think there's enough talent within the side to get top 8. The question is, can they string together wins? They haven't proven to do that under Ruben Amorim. The chances of them stringing together a ton of losses before a ton of wins is more likely. At this point, I thought since the Grimsby match, I thought he was a dead man walking. I thought his comments since then have been kind of like, I don't really give a
Yeah.
crap. I'm just gonna see it out. So, look, I'd love for Ruben Amorim to figure it out and us to go on this crazy winning streak and finish top 8, and then I'm like this happy giddy United fan again. Realistically, the chances of that happening are not high. We haven't won 2 games in a row under him. So how could I sit here and be like, yeah, he's going to keep his job? No, eventually, this was just for me, these comments from him were just like a pressure release valve a little bit. Like, there's so much pressure on him right now. We're in this international break. We're going to at least now have to keep him until the next one. So let's just pump the brakes here. Let's release a little bit of pressure, and he figures it out. You look like a genius. And if he doesn't figure it out, you're just a politician. You just say something that you were lying about. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a good thought. I like it. I like it.
I guess the question that I'll point back to you guys, because I don't have an answer for it, would be if you were to think of anybody that would take over for United as the manager, like, is there any thoughts? Because I always fall into that line of like, I just don't know.
You mean manager wise?
Yeah.
Sam Allardyce.
Yeah, Big Sam. Yeah, throw him in there. Whenever there's a sacking, it's Big Sam gets up on the bookies boards and he's in there. Honestly, though, I think United missed out on Nuno Espirito Santo. I thought he would be a phenomenal hire, and obviously now he's gone to West Ham. Graham Potter was sacked there. I think he would be good, but there's 2 others, and I don't see it happening during the season. It would need to be in the summer, and that is Glasner at Crystal Palace, who has done a sensational job with Crystal Palace. I mean, they were unbeaten in the league in 12 straight games. It finally took Everton a last-minute goal in this past Sunday to beat them 2-1. So Glasner, with essentially no one on his roster, a couple of players here and there, but has done a great job. And then Iriola at Bournemouth.
Yeah.
I think those 2 managers have proven they can do it in the Premiership. They've proven they can do it with very little money. They can go in there, they can take what's already there and turn it around, right? So I think those 2 guys, they are not going to leave the clubs that they are at in the middle of the season here. So maybe see Ruben Amorim out at the last day of the season. See you later. Not good enough. And listen, United are a top 5, need to be a Champions League team every year. That's the minimum for Manchester United. Anything outside of that is losing. So if they don't make top 4, and they're not going to make top 4, they need to say last day of season, see you later, and go hit up one of those 2 guys, because I think that would be their best way forward. So that's what I got for you on that one.
Yeah. I don't know if I have, I think the ones Craig listed, honestly, are probably the ones. I mean, I don't see the Brighton manager moving the German. I don't think that's too much of a jump for him. He hasn't done enough. You get him you get him into Europe or whatever. But even then, I love the guys that are like, yeah, we got him in Europe, we're good. We weren't supposed to do it, and then they get the big contract, and then they just epically fail. At the next club, the bigger club they go to, because they're not ready for that. No, I think the Bournemouth coach is an interesting one. And then I agree with Craig. They missed out on Nuno. My buddy tells me that because George Mendes is good friends with the guys at West Ham. And I think he told me, I think he was one of George Mendes's first clients as a player, Nuno, that's the reason why he ended up at West Ham.